Hi, hope you are doing well. Welcome to this session. Today I am going to take up the lesson from NCERT's English textbook for class 10. The title of the textbook is First Flight, Unit 6, and the name of the lesson is The 100 Dresses. In our previous sessions, we had discussed about the story. I will recapitulate the story and then we will do some activities. The story is about Wanda. Wanda was a simple girl. She was from a poor background and there were other two girls, Peggy and Maddie. Peggy would make fun of Wanda every now and then by asking her a question. How many dresses do you have, Wanda? Wanda would simply reply, I have 100 dresses lined up in my closet. And then they would laugh because Wanda would wear one blue dress every day to school. Her dress was shabby, but it was clean. And finally, Wanda leaves the school and her father tells the school that they are leaving the school because he does not want that her children should be exposed to bullying. When Peggy and Maddie came to know about this, Maddie was very sad. Peggy was trying to defend her actions by telling her maybe there was nothing wrong in that she was doing, but Maddie reflected on the incidents and she felt sad. She wanted to apologize to Wanda, say sorry to her. This is how the story goes on, and finally, they write a letter to Wanda, a friendly letter. Actually, they wanted to apologize to her, but it became a friendly letter. No harm, even a friendly letter is a nice gesture. Finally, Wanda replies, not directly to the girls, but to her teacher, telling that they can keep the sketches and the two sketches should be given to Peggy and Maddie because they were really interested in her drawings as gifts. And the story ends, surely she had 100 dresses all lined up in her closet. So, this is the background of the story and I am sure you must have read both the parts, part 1 as well as part 2. Let us discuss some language activities. Here are some adjectives. These adjectives describe human qualities. You can consult a dictionary if you are not sure of the meanings of some of the words. You may also add to the list the positive or negative pair of a given word. The words are kind, sarcastic, courteous, arrogant, insipid, timid, placid, cruel, haughty, proud, zealous, intrepid, sensitive, compassionate, introvert, stolid, cheerful, contented, thoughtless, vain, friendly, unforgiving, fashionable, generous, talented, lonely, determined, creative, miserable, complacent. So many adjectives, maybe there are 30. You can add to the list. You can increase the number to 50. I leave it to you. Now divide them into 3 parts: positive qualities, neutral and negative qualities. You have divided? Have you done this activity? Very fine. Now, what adjectives can we use to describe Peggy, Wanda and Maddie? Wanda was a creative girl. She was kind, Fine. She was stolid. She was generous. Don't we come to know all these things from the story? And these adjectives help us describe these three girls. So, once we have the adjectives with us, we can write a character sketch of these two girls. We can write Wanda was a Polish girl. She was simple, she was kind, she was so creative that she had made sketches of 100 dresses. Similarly, if you have to write about Peggy, you can write she was vain, she was a bit callous also, she made fun of Wanda all the time. I am only giving you hints, but go back to your adjectives, pick up the words that describe these three characters and write the character sketch of these three girls. Now, Maddie was very reflective, Maddie was also simple. She hated when Peggy made fun of Wanda. She was sensitive, she was compassionate. Okay? So, I hope you will be able to write the character sketch of these three girls. Now, let us do another activity. Find the sentences in the story about the following phrasal verbs. The phrasal verbs are lined up. This phrasal verb has been used many times in the story. 100 dresses lined up in the closet. Do you remember? Of course you do. Thought up, took off, stood by. Now, can you find out the sentences? Go back to your text. Quickly read it. I have found a few sentences from the text to share with you. First one is, please tell the girls they can keep those 100 dresses because in my new house I have 100 new ones all lined up in my closet. This is at the end of the lesson, but if you go back to part 1, you find that this phrasal verb has been used over there also. Next example, Miss Mason took off her glasses, blew on them and wiped them on her soft white handkerchief. She had stood by silently and that was just as bad as what Peggy had done. So, these are the usage of phrasal verbs. Now, have you observed one thing over here? How these phrasal verbs have been created and what is a phrasal verb? Phrasal verb is an idiomatic phrase consisting of a verb and another element. Over here the element is a preposition. Took off, lined up, stood by. The other element over here is prepositions. Typically either an adverb as in break down or a preposition, for example, see to, or a combination of both such as look down on. So, like this we create the phrasal verbs. Look up these phrasal verbs in a dictionary to find out if they can be used in some other way. Okay? Find out what other prepositions can go with these verbs. Can you find out? What does each of these phrasal verbs mean? Now, you have to do this activity on your own. It will be fun. Use at least 5 such phrasal verbs in sentences of your own. I can share a few examples with you. The examples are like, let us take the word break, break up. Okay? The breakup was emotional. Break in. How did the thief break in the house? I have used two prepositions with the word break. Similarly, you can also choose a word and use different verbs to create more phrasal verbs and then use them in sentences of your own. There is another activity. This is about colors. Surprised? Let's do the activity. I am sure you will enjoy doing it. Colors are used to describe feelings, moods and emotions. Let's look at the first example. The Monday morning blues. How do you feel when you have to go to school after a long weekend? Sadness or depression after a weekend of fun. Back to school, back to routine, back to discipline and everything. Though discipline is a good thing, but you know, this is known as the Monday morning blues. The next one, go red in the face. Feel embarrassed, angry or ashamed. Look green. Feel very sick, as if about to vomit. The red carpet, a special welcome. Blue-blooded, of noble birth or from a royal family. A green belt, land around a town or city where construction is prohibited by law. Do you have green belt in your city? Yes, you must be having. Observe it, you will find it. A blackguard, a dishonest person with no sense of right or wrong. A grey area, an area of a subject or a situation where matters are not very clear. A white flag, a sign of surrender or acceptance of defeat, a wish to stop fighting. A blueprint, a photographic print of building plans or a detailed plan or scheme, or a plan of action is also known as a blueprint. The green light, the sign or permission to begin an action. So, now you know how colors are used to express various situations, emotions. We have another activity. This is related to adverbs. What are adverbs? We will read a few sentences and you will find that how adverbs express opinion or a point of view. The sentence is, obviously, the only dress Wanda had was the blue one she wore every day. So, obviously makes it clear to the speaker. So, this is referred to as, known as adverb. Other such adverbs are apparently, evidently, surprisingly, possibly, hopefully, incredibly, luckily. Now, the task for you is use these words appropriately in blanks in the sentences given in your textbook. You can use a word more than once, okay, or more than one word may be appropriate for a given blank. It is not that one word cannot be repeated for other blanks. Adverbs also tell how it happened, or a word or phrase that modifies or qualifies an adjective, verb or other adverb, or a word group expressing a relation of place, time, circumstance, manner, cause, degree, etc. For example, gently, quiet, then, there. Example of quickly, she swims quickly. Here the adverb quickly modifies the verb swims. She swims quickly. Her action is modified. There are 5 types of adverbs: degree, frequency, manner, place and time. Let us take the example of hard. Hard is both an adjective and an adverb. You can say the bed was hard using the adjective, okay, which means it is very firm. You can also say I worked hard using the adverb, which means with a lot of effort. Students, you must have completed the task filling up the blanks with adverbs. Let us see how adverbs are used in these sentences. The first one, surprisingly, he finished his work on time. Hopefully, it will not rain on the day of the match. Evidently, he had been stealing money from his employer. I can't possibly lend you that much money. The thief had apparently been watching the house for many days. The water was incredibly hot. I hope it is clear to you how to use adverbs and where to use adverbs. Now we come to the writing section. I have a task for you. The story of Wanda Petronuski presents many characters engaged in many kinds of behavior: teasing, playing, sitting in the class. Form groups, choose an episode or episodes from the story, assign roles to each member of the group from that episode and try to act it like a play using the words in the story. I would suggest that you divide both the parts into manageable chunks. You can form 6 groups, 8 groups. You can discuss all these things online also. Now, each group will write the dialogues and then you can stage it as and when you get the opportunity. And let me share with you that this particular story is very popular with the students, with the syllabus makers all over the world, because it has a great teaching. It teaches us not to be a bully and not to bully anyone. So, you are going to now become writers and producers of a play. Next writing activity is, are you interested in drawing and painting or anything else? Imagine you are going to make a career out of your hobby. Hobbies can be like sketching. Do you want to become a painter, fashion designer, astronaut, anything for that matter? Sports person, musician, that's up to you to decide. Now, as per your hobby, what sort of things will you need to learn? Lot of research work, you have to read about it. Write a paragraph or two on this topic after consulting an expert or doing reference work on your chosen area. Clear? Another writing task is, rewrite a part of the story as if Wanda is telling us her own story. So, therefore, it will be a narrative style. You are going to write from Wanda's point of view. I have given you 3 tasks to write. While doing your writing activities, please follow the process approach to writing. Process approach to writing means, first of all, generate ideas. The first step is generate ideas, write down the points. Well, if you are doing some research work, add those ideas. So, your rough work is ready. The second step is the act of writing. Here you have to decide which form. Here you have 3 tasks over here. One is a story, another one is something that you want to do. So, you decide the form. Accordingly, you start writing and also decide how many paragraphs you are going to write. Here the act of writing. You have written it? That is nice. The third step is reviewing and revising. You can share your story with your friend You can ask your friend to review it and give suggestions. You can do the same for your friend. You yourself review it. This is self-assessment. This is peer assessment. You review the story, you have got the points, now you do the revision. You have changed some words, you have changed the sentences, you have added a new paragraph, you have done it. Next step is editing. Without editing, nothing is complete. Editing means you look at it from all angles. You have to look at punctuation marks, spellings, everything. Now it is neat. The last step is you rewrite the story for submission and put all these tasks or steps that you have gone through in your portfolio. I hope you will be able to do this. With this, we have come to the end of this session. Before I conclude, I want to share one thing with you. Kindness is never wasted. We have learnt a lot of things from this lesson. Blessed is the receiver, blessed is the giver. Please remember this. Do your activities, read your lesson, and thank you.